Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My sincere thanks to the Ballot Center for this wonderful opportunity to be here at BYU for the first time and sharing with you my personal journey. This is so special for me because this is the first time that I attend a competition in an US business school that I am not a student participant myself. This absolutely makes the air more easier to breathe. To give you some background information, I come from a small town in northern Vietnam. No one in my family ever finished high school or dream of going to college. So this is kind of a big deal in the family. The year I was born was 1986. It's also the year that our government decided to đổi mới or reform and open up the economy that had long been stagnant because of the war and the old malfunctioning system. So growing up, I've seen a lot of changes happening everywhere in the country, and starting from my small home corner. For some economic reason, the local government decided to fill up half of the river, a beautiful river at the back of my parents' home, to make more land to sell. So the beautiful river that my dad used to carry me on his back to swim every day, and once the source of drinking water for all of us, now turned into the undrinkable, unswimmable, and sometimes unbreathable dark flow of water. I've seen the air quality get worse each day. The weather become more unpredictable, and the surrounding farming communities are shrinking greatly because many farmers are now leaving town to search for better options, better jobs in big cities. I couldn't wrap my head around the logic of development that people are doing. And that fueled my passion to engage in the international development work with the hope of understanding more about the social and environmental problems and solutions, hoping one day I would be able to do something helpful to the development of the community. Throughout my career, I've got many chances to travel and work all over Vietnam and other countries in Southeast Asia. I had noticed from my experience that in most cases, the one who solved the problem were not the local people. And the work of solving the problem itself was highly dependent on the taste of the donor. And it can be interrupted at any time because way before it is sustainably solved. This had bothered me a lot, so much that I had decided to embark on a journey to learn about new and more sustainable way of doing development work. And that led me to the concept of using business as a tool to solving social and environmental problems in a sustainable way. So 5.5 years ago, I left Vietnam to go to the US to get my master in business administration with a concentration on global social and sustainable enterprises. I wasn't an aspiring entrepreneur at the time. In fact, I didn't even know what an entrepreneur is. Worst, I never had a business background, except although childhood years I was helping out with my parents with their little food stand in the local markets. All I brought with me to the MBA program was just the passion and the curiosity to learn. I remember the first day I sat on the entrepreneurship class, my professor said, the first step of becoming an entrepreneur is finding out what sucks. So I thought to myself, well, I do know plenty of things that suck. That problem of open burning of the rice straw that I've been seeing all over Vietnam and other countries really sucks. It's damaging to the environment, the health of the community, and it's not just a small local problem that's native to a particular community. It's a big problem. It's an environmental problem that's quite complex because it's embedded in the social behavior problem. It's so big and get me so overwhelming to me every time I try to think of a good solution to it. But I was in school, and the reason I came was to learn if the business way of designing a solution to a social and environmental problem would really work. So I thought I better test it with a difficult enough problem then. So I think school should be a safe place to try and fail. After all, isn't that what learning all about? And that's how I started to work on Fargreen. It's a journey that starts with learning deeply about the problems, then trying different solutions to see how they work, then drawing the experience from those learnings, and then using the new learning to get a deeper understanding of the problem, and so to come up with better solutions. I can tell you, it's a long, never-ending learning process. And in fact, from my experience of building Fargreen, so far, it's all about understanding the problem. And when you can fully define it, the solution will present itself to you. I'll take an example. When I started my extensive research about the problem of open burning of the rice straw, I thought the problem was the burning act itself. So whatever can stop this burning act should be the solution. Well, then we should follow the footsteps of California or Japan to ban this open burning act completely. Well, it turned out that some of our local government tried it, but never been successful because it's not a technical problem. It's a social problem that is driven by a complex rural environment. And moreover, the magnitude of this problem in a major rice producing and exporting country is totally different, if not a world different, from the same problems that happening in a rice importing country, if that makes sense. So if the problem is not the burning act itself, how about the one that perform that act, or the farmers? Perhaps we should blame them and we should find a way to fix them then. Maybe because of their limited understanding about the consequences of this burning on their health and the environment, so that led them to do this. Well, we did a research interview many farmers and found out that they were not that dumb like we had thought. They were well aware of the fact that the air was not clean and breathable when they burned the straw, and they all wear facial masks to protect themselves from breathing all this smoke. So no more awareness campaigns needed here. So what is the problem here? As we talked to more farmers, it turned out that we are the one whose views and knowledge was limited. Of course, the farmer had to burn the straw because it's the quickest, cheapest, and most convenient ways for them to get rid of this massive waste. And so that they can start another crop as soon as possible, so that they can sell that for more money. Farming is hard, and they had to work harder. Taking care of themselves and their family should be a reasonable priority, right? We all do the same. So instead of asking, what's to make the farmer not to burn the straw, we change the question into what is it for them to not burn this straw? So that question really sums up the way we define the problem at Fargreen. What's in it for the farmers for not doing the damaging burning acts? What's in it for them to end it sustainably? What's in it for them to work with Fargreen? Does it sound strange? No, at least not in business school. When we start a new deal with new partner, we always have to ask that question so that we can create an attractive proposal to them so that we can start a partnership, right? So the key thing here is the word partner. It's different from the word beneficiary. When we move from the mindset of granting something to someone to the more balanced mindset of proposing something to someone, we can invite the other party to join us in the process of figuring out what works. So for Fargreen, we need to propose some solution to the farmer of turning their waste into something valuable which no one would want to turn away and go back to the old days of burning it. So there are many ways that rice straw can be used for making furniture, animal foods, generating power, and so on. You can find a lot of examples all over and research. These are great ideas, but for me, they are either too expensive to start small and test out, or too boring to do it for the next 100 years. So as we researched, we stumbled upon a paper about growing mushroom on rice straw. And the most exciting thing for me this time was not that we will get this delicious food, and I'm the foodie, by the way, but also we can use the waste after this growing process as biofertilizer for, to enhance the soil quality for another rice crop or vegetable crop. So no more waste, sustainably. Yes. So did I find the perfect solution for the problem? And the search for the solution should stop here? Not really. What you heard was just an idea. And if you call an idea a solution, you are dead wrong. And we have learned it many lessons in making mistaking an idea with a solution for the problem. So let me tell you more. In the beginning, when we piloted Fargreen for the first time in Vietnam, we taught the farmer to grow mushrooms on the rice straw on their own, and then we would buy these mushrooms from them, then sell to the market. It would say, of course, what's wrong with that? Well, there are actually several problems in that model. First, growing mushroom in a traditional way is labor intensive. And there are very few farmers who can be full-time rice farmer and full-time mushroom farmers at the same time. Second, it's not easy. The existing mushroom farmers in the country are already struggling with pest issue, failed crops, and many other things. Third, it's very hard for farming to control the quality of the mushroom to sell to our customer. And there is no way to prevent this farmer from side selling the products to the market. What's more, the cheap and convenient way of growing mushroom that people often do, and we also did in those days of piloting, was to pack all these straw and the mushroom spore in small plastic bags, like hundreds of them. And so after you're done with the mushroom, you got the mushroom, and then you throw these bags away. So I had to face this hard realization that if I scaled this solution, I would add another or maybe bigger problem to the environment. So these learnings really help us to understand the problems that we're trying to solve at a deeper level of the system where it exists. We have learned that in order to grab a good solution, we need not just focus on the input or the output, but also the process and the existing system that in between. We all know that it's very hard to change the system, and if we're not careful, we might create another problem out of our very good intention. It surprises me every day how limited my yesterday understanding about the problem was. I realized that it's really hard to understand the problem fully in order to draw a perfect solution to it, even if you are the one who experiences it every day. Looking back at a few things that I've learned during my few years of working with Fargreen, I would say the following thing has been really critical that helped move Fargreen from an idea to where it is now. So number one, a realization that challenges are complex and have emerged as a result of many interrelated factors. So spending time understanding the problem, doing research, and peeling the onion was an important part in coming up with innovative and realistic solutions. Secondly, being surrounded by people who share with your passion and your vision, but at the same time, they have to be the ones that can hold your feet to the fire and give you critical feedback that help improve your idea, your solution, and the way you run your company. While praises and awards are nice, they don't necessarily help you to develop. What really helps is critical, thoughtful questionings and feedbacks. Finally, realizing that success is a process. It's not a brilliant spark of insight. It's an emotional roller coaster, and you have to have the commitment and the persistence to stay on the path till the end. Like people often say, where there is a will, there's a way. I believe that if our will is to make the world a better place for all of us, there will always be a way for us to do so if we're willing to take the time, the efforts, the patience to really get down to the journey of fully understanding the problem, which, in another words, to show that we really care about it enough that we can solve it with all our heart. Thank you.